All right, everybody, we're back. Trying a different spot. Uh, hey, Lynn, welcome back. Just getting set up again. Guys, I got to thinking with these fish up shallow. I moved to a completely different side of the lake, and I got more wind and stuff here. So I'm kind of having to keep the phone inside the vehicle to kind of shield it from the wind. But with all these fish up shallow like they normally are in spring, you just seen that one. Uh, I come over here. We're gonna let see him see if he takes it more aggressively. Uh, I come over here where they normally spawn at in the spring. It's a big, huge, shallow flat, and out around them tree lines. I'm not sure if y'all can see it. On the back side is where both of our creeks dump into this lake. Uh, it's real shallow. The deepest water over here is going to be 8 to 12 foot in a couple of spots, but most of it's 4 foot. This right here where I'm standing, this used to be an old road bed. It actually used to drive all the way across to the other side of the lake. And so they come up and they'll stage on both sides of that gravel road bed. And we're just going to try it and see if they've moved over here into this shallower water. I'll give them about an hour or so here. If nothing happens, I'll move again. But you just never know. And the way these fish are acting up in the shallows, I thought I might as well go try uh, their spring pattern where they're normally at in the spring. I'm gonna tighten that rod up a little bit. Something swam into the line or something, but I seem to give it a good jerk. Normally, when the water's warmed up, this spot here, you'll see me walk out on this road. I'll wade out there about waist deep and cast my rods out just to get farther distance. But most of it stays on average about 4 to 5 foot deep. And it's just a huge spawning flat. It's got a good hard bottom. They really like it over here. We're going to give it a shot and see what happens. Hi, Georgia. Welcome back. Wind's picking up. It's blowing in here pretty good. Uh, it may get too bad to record. I may have to move again, but we'll just have to see what happens. I'm going to try and stay live as long as I can. Uh, my phone's not wanting to charge, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm going to see if I can try not block the camera. My phone's kind of doing funny things, not wanting to charge. Maybe the cord. Uh, I brought a battery pack and was going to charge it on the way, and the whole trip out here, it never charged. And I had my phone plugged up direct uh, while we were doing the last live, trying to get it to charge, and it didn't charge at all. Who else is live, Georgia? I haven't got any notifications or anything because I've got do not disturb turned on. I think the fishing magician was going to go live sometime today. I hate to miss it, but Flint Hill still live too. Has he caught any? I was watching him when I got ready and loaded up and come out here. He hadn't caught any yet, but I didn't know if Flint ever got into him or not. Baltimore Anglers fixing to go live too. Going to have quite a few live streams going. Well, that's good in case my phone dies. I may have to let it sit here and charge before I can go live again. At least there'll be other lives to watch. During the spring, if we get good rain and the creeks start running and water starts coming in here, where we're standing at right now, all this will actually be underwater. Y'all pop over to Mark's stream. Tell him I said good luck. I'll have to watch when I get home. There was a carp just come flying up out of the water. He's out there just playing around. Chances are, though, if the carp are over here, catfish are too. So we may be in a good spot. I ain't going to swear to that. I seen carp moving at the first spot we were at, and the catfish just never did bite. It was nice earlier. I had my coat off and everything. It's a little chilly over here. That wind picked up, and it's in the low 50s, but that wind makes it feel a little bit chillier. I like a little bit of wind and waves when I'm fishing. Seems to move all the bait fish. Hope them guys catch some fish. They put a lot of time in on the water. Yeah, Becca, new spot. I come over here to where the creeks come in at. During the springtime when they start to spawn, they really stockpile in here. And I thought I'd come over here and try it just to see. I've had some carp jumping, but that's about it. Having some technical issues. My phone's not wanting to charge. Uh, I've got it plugged in, but it's not wanting to charge. So I may have to end the live stream short and let the phone charge. I'm going to let it go as long as I can. Yeah. Uh, this point is actually an old road, Becca. This road used to go all the way across to the other side of the lake, and even the concrete bridge and stuff is still underwater out there. And it doesn't get very deep over here. Uh, 8 to 12 foot's the deepest water around, but around that bend is where the creeks come in at. And it's just a huge, flat, shallow, hard bottom that the catfish love to spawn in. They'll pull up in here real tight during the spring, and you can catch a lot of fish over here. This whole road bed, when the water temperature's up, I'll walk out on that road bed about waist deep and then cast my rods out to get extra distance. And I've had really good luck with it, but that water's too cold for me to be wading out in there right now. The lake's actually down a little bit. Uh, we get our rain in the spring and stuff, and water starts coming down that creek. All this that we're standing on right now, where I'm standing at, will be underwater. We had a carp over here jumping out of the water playing around earlier. I thought with them fish being up shallow and stuff, I might as well come over here and try where you normally find them shallow at during the spring. With our weather and these water temperatures coming up and down and stuff, it may have the fish as confused as we are. I kind of split the rods up. I've got two on this side of the road and two on that side of that road bed. And sometimes you can throw right out on the middle of the road bed and it drops off on both sides. A lot of times you'll catch the fish coming over the top, cruising to the other side, and they'll feed on that top leg. Yeah, the fish ain't wanting to cooperate today, but I'll try here and give them at least an hour. If nothing happens here, I'll load up, move back to the other side of the lake, kind of give my phone a chance to charge. I know it's not the cord, it may be the plug. I may have to get a new plug to go in the car to hook it into. I spent a lot of time out here, even in my youth. Back when I was young and needed to clear my head and stuff, I'd come out here and just park, lay up on the hood out under the stars, listen to the waves roll in, kind of clear my head. Good spot for thinking. I don't normally fish this spot this early in the year, but you just never know. I'm sure ready for a fish to get active. I'd like to see one of the rods go down. I don't care how big the fish are. I just like catching them. I could sit out here and catch 2 and 3 pound fish all day and have a blast. I know they were saying Flint Hills live still, and Fishing Magicians live, and the Baltimore Angler is going to go live. I was watching Flint Hill when I come out here. I don't know if he ever caught anything or not. I hope Mark and them do some good. You can tell the still a little bit cool. A lot of people don't get out. I basically both places I've been today, I've had the lake all to myself. I haven't even seen another person. Flint Hill still hadn't caught anything. Man, I'd like to see him catch one. He spends a lot of time out on the water. He puts in the effort. I like to see guys that put in the time and stuff get rewarded. I don't know if the wind's trying to change direction here or not. It kind of goes up and down. You'll get a gust and then it'll lay for a little bit and then it'll gust back up. This is one of those spots you definitely want to have 4-wheel drive to get down into when it rains. It's pretty out here. Yeah, Becca, I keep 4-wheel drive. My pickup is down. I'm going to have to put it in the shop, get it fixed. So I'm out here in the wife's 4-wheel drive GMC Envoy. They don't get as good a gas mileage, but that 4-wheel drive comes in handy. My father-in-law, he worked in the oil field, and during the winter, when it's ice and snow or it rained real hard, them lease roads are mud. Uh, we'd let him use this Envoy to go out to the rig, where I didn't have to worry about him getting stuck or wrecked. My wife doesn't like the 4-wheel drive because they don't get good gas mileage, and she likes to do a lot of driving so she can burn out some gas quick. I kind of missed my truck. I need to get it fixed. It's a tank. It'll go just about anywhere. 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Chevrolet with a 6.5 turbo diesel in it. It's heavy enough in the ice and stuff. You don't have to worry about it leaving the road. It's not moving. And it does good in the mud. It actually does better in the mud than this 4-wheel drive Envoy. Come on, fish. Someone's been out here shooting shotguns. I see some wads left out of the field, probably from the duck hunters. Them duck hunters missed a couple because when I pulled up here, there was 2 ducks on the stove. I may have to move around to find them. A 4-wheel drive truck, a Jeep, and 2 4-wheelers. Yeah. I like having 4-wheel drive. You don't always need it, but when it's muddy or ice and snow, they sure come in handy. You have a lot of them around here. A lot of people, they get them 4-wheel drives, especially them young kids. And as soon as it rains or something, they come out here around this lake and stuff and tear these roads up. And they're really starting to crack down on them. Them kids are like, I'm mudding. It's like, no, you're just tearing up the road for everybody else. There's mud bogs they can go to. Don't be making it worse for everybody else. No, it's a lot colder over here than it was at our first spot. A lot more wind. So if the fish don't bite here, I've already learned something. Next spot I want to go to, I want to be protected from the wind. You a forward person, Becca? That 68 F100, Becca, is probably a better truck than the other two ever will be. The old Fords were a lot better. Uh, I grew up drag racing and had a mechanic shop and always worked on my own vehicles, so I kind of got away from the Fords and went to General Motors. I'm a whatever gets me from place to place. Yeah, I know. My wife, she likes the pickups, and I went out and bought her a turbo Fiat 500 6 speed because she wanted a standard real bad. I bought it for her, and real sporty, all leather interior and stuff, and I thought it was really cute. And she liked it for a while, but always pushing that clutch and stuff in, it started bothering her hip and stuff, and she decided she wanted to get rid of it. But she needs something that's got good fuel economy because she likes to drive too much. I had a little Toyota Yaris I bought brand new, and it didn't have but a 10-gallon tank on it, but you could go 300 and something miles on that 10 gallon, and she would just run all the time with the kids and stuff. And $5 in that thing, she could go forever. She tries it in these 4-wheel drives and stuff, and it just don't work that way. That little Toyota, it had been tortured. That was a good car. I took it everywhere, drove it back and forth to work, and I love the car, but I kept getting rear-ended in it, and had people back into it and everything else. The last time I got rear-ended pulling into work, uh, the insurance company wouldn't let me buy it back. That would have been the fifth time that car was totaled, and they decided it was better just to take it off the road. Yeah, she loved standards back then. She wanted one and wanted one and wanted one, and she didn't realize that we aged and got older, and she has fibromyalgia, muscle disease, and she didn't think about that constant pushing that clutch and stuff, and she kept it probably a year, maybe a year and a half, and she finally said, "I can't do it no more." And I kind of understand. I kind of used and abused my body when I was younger, and it's not in great shape now, and I'm paying for it. Normally, my wife won't even let me come out here and fish by myself because of my medical issues, but I kind of talked her into it. She won't come out hardly when it's cold, and she's the one that talked me into coming over here and trying this spot. I was going to try another spot that kind of has a bluff overlooking the water, but she's worried about me falling off that bluff into the water by myself. But Doesn't look like them fish are wanting to play here either. Back in mine wasn't just outdoors. I was kind of stupid. When I was young, played lots of sports, drank, fought a lot, uh, even got into fighting mixed martial arts tournaments till I got banned. And I really put my body through some stress. Got older, and my knees and my ankles and stuff were bad, and arthritis come to visit and started attacking everything. And I just really didn't take good care of myself. When I was young, I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof, one of those kind of guys. I did stupid stuff. I would pick up 350 Chevrolet car engines and carry them around just because I could and stuff, instead of getting a hoist or doing stuff like that. Now that I'm older, my body let me know about it. But I'm bad about not going to the doctor. I don't go to the doctor unless something's really bad. And I didn't tell my wife a lot of the things that were going on because I didn't want her to worry. And when I got to the point I got bad enough, she had to start going to the doctor with me, and the doctor kind of told her everything that was going on. She was not a happy camper with me. Right now, my biggest struggle is smoking. I got to get off the cigarette. My lungs and stuff are so bad. And she stays on me about quitting smoking, but I know she does it because she loves me. Doctor kind of basically told her if I don't quit smoking, I got maybe 2 years left. And she really works on me about my smoking. These fish just are not very active today. Oh, there goes one. Well, he's definitely not a monster, but he is a fish. So we may stay in this spot a little bit longer. Guys don't understand when I talk in the live streams about the guys up in DC area and stuff. You see a lot of their fish where just barely peck, and they'll bounce the rod or start swimming off with the line. Even the small ones here, I hope y'all could see how he just laid that rod over. The fish here are so aggressive. When they hit with force. And if you don't have a good pole holder, it will be gone before you can catch them. We're going to go ahead, and my wife wants to eat some fish. She told me keep her a couple. This is perfect eating size. So I'm going to take this guy home so she has some catfish. This lake is plumb full of eater size catfish like this. So if you want to eat one, guys, this is the size you want to eat. You don't want to take the big ones. Let the big ones loose. I will not keep anything over 10 pounds. I just won't do it. I'm going to get another piece of bait on and throw it back out there and see if we can get another one. I caught that one off of a body section. So I'm going to put another body section off. And guys, 8/0 circle hooks are the smallest I use. This here is an 8. And when I hook my shad, I like to hook them through the gut pocket. It's good and tough, and it helps keep them guts in there. And that blood and that water, them catfish will really go after it. And they tend to get the hook better. Yeah, Georgia, we caught one. Moved around to another spot. I've been here 40 minutes and had a small one hit and just lay the rod over. But I don't care. They don't have to be big fish. I just love catching them. And even the small ones like that just fold the rod over. They're a lot of fun, and especially on these little Shakespeare ugly sticks. This is just a medium action rod with the Abu Garcia 6500 wide spool, and they're a lot of fun to catch on these little Shakespeares. So there was at least one hungry fish over here swimming around. I've got to try and get this phone to charge. It's only at 9% right now. I think we may have got it working. So hopefully I don't lose y'all. If I do, I'll charge the phone and come back on. I'm going to give this spot a little bit, and looks like another one just hit. On those little Shakespeare's, I'm only using a 2-ounce no roll sinker, which in the lake is plenty. On the bigger Tidewater rods, I've got 4 ounces. Yeah, Georgia, I still love catching the small ones. If I catch a big one, I enjoy it. It's a bonus, but I love. My wife loves to fish just as much as I do, if not more. I can take her out to catch bluegill for bait, and she will sit there all day catching them little bluegill and just have a blast. Trying to get her some new rods and reels, get her some new gear. She's never really fished for the big catfish, and I want to get her on some. Uh, her shoulder and stuff is bad, and she's not sure if she's going to be able to handle reeling a big one in, but I at least want to give her the opportunity. So normally this is where the catfish come in here during the spring, and I've been catching shallow, so I thought might as well give it a try. The wife's like, "Why don't you go over there and try?" So I come over here, and sure enough, we hit a fish. She's wanting me to catch her some fish so she can have some fresh catfish tonight. Yeah, Georgia, when my wife catches one, she gets all excited too. And if she gets one up there about 5 to 8 pounds, she'll be like, "Help, help." And I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" And, other than just take the rod and reel it in for her, she gets mad at me. She's like, "You're no help." I'm like, "You got it." We take our grandkids out, and I love to see them catch fish too. Our oldest granddaughter's 3, and she is ate up with fishing. She will come over and crawl up in my lap. I'll have the laptop open watching YouTube, watching people fish different channels. And man, she just gets right there comfortable in my lap, and she gets all excited. I love to see it. My wife, she'll talk trash to me too. She's not afraid to talk trash. We'll be out at the lake, and she'll be out there with the cork and bobber catching them on worm. And if I'm not catching anything, she'll let me know about it. She'll be like, "I thought you said you knew how to fish." But I love it. Still a little bit cold for her. I'm ready for it to warm up so she can come out with me. To me, fishing is always more fun if you've got someone to share it with. I like sharing the experience and making memories. Kind of got these rods scattered out. I got two on this side of this road bed and two on that side. And that fish come all the way around and was up in this cove. He was in the shallowest water out here. He was up close to the bank. During the springtime, when the fish pull up to spawn and stuff, this is a phenomenal spot. Your wife thinks a cork and bobber is real fishing? Yeah, mine's not going to give it up. She's caught a lot of catfish on that cork and bobber. Man, up close to the bank, she may not be fishing in 18 inches of water. And I'll be like, the fish are not supposed to be that shallow. And she's like, well, they are. My wife is not against talking smack. That's the second time something bumped that rod. I don't know if they're swimming into the line or what, but it hadn't really hit it, or it's almost like it's knocking the bait back to me. You got to kind of watch them, because a lot of times you think that's a little fish doing that, knocking that bait back to you, but a lot of the time it's not. It's a bigger fish, and when they finally get in their mind to take that bait and go, they do it in a sudden movement. I've had fish sit there and play with the bait for 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden just double the pole over. It's great that your wife goes fishing with you too, Georgia. I love it when mine comes fishing with me. I think it's great when people fish together like that. Yeah. Uh, Down here in the spring when the creeks flood, then fish will start coming out of the Red River, and we can go down there and get on the big catfish. But this lake has big catfish in it. Uh, this is one of the only lakes that I've fished where I've actually caught a fish over 100 pounds out of. See, I still haven't figured these fish out. It's low 50s, probably 51. With that wind blowing, it doesn't even feel 50s. It feels down in the 40s. I don't know why these fish are up so shallow. Uh, I have yet to get a bite on a fish in deep water, uh, bank fishing the places that I can hit. I know guys have been drifting in 30 to 40 foot of water and having some good success there. But I have fished in some spots that's got 20 to 30 foot of water in them and not even got a bite, and moved up to the shallow water and start catching them. I don't know what it is about why they're up in the shallow water this time of year, but something's triggering it. And I think it's great when you have husbands and wives that go out and fish together. It's a great bonding experience, great way to spend time together. And I don't care if my wife outfishes me and she catches fish. A lot of the times when we go, I'll just put big baits on, and I'll strictly fish for big fish. And she'll sit there and catch, all the eater size fish, 10 pounds and under. And man, I'm happy sitting there watching her catch those fish. And if one bites my rod, okay. If not, that's okay. During the spring, you'll see me chunk some big bait. I've never caught any shark or anything like that. I've never got to fish in any of the oceans. Uh, I've never really got to fish any rivers. Uh, one time when my uncle's father passed away, I took a trip to Alabama for the funeral and stuff. And they lived there in Florence, just 4 miles from the Tennessee state line. And his brother and them lived there. And they loaded us up in the boat. We went out to Wheeler Lake. They were right up there by the dam. And he took us to a spot, and it just blew my mind because I'd never seen anything like it. The water on one side was like, I don't know, 200 something feet above us. Now we're down here fishing at this dam, and you have to keep your boat motor running. And they got them turbines, and it keeps that water stirred up. And when they blow that horn, you got to get out of there because it'll pull your boat in. But we were out there fishing, and man, that bait wouldn't sink 3 foot in the water, and them catfish would hammer it. And at that time, uh, I took some stink bait from Oklahoma up there, and his brother took us out, and he's like, "Man, all they're hit is chicken liver." And we got throwing that stink bait out on that 3-way hook, and me and my uncle were just reeling them in left and right. His brother finally reeled in and took that liver off, and asked me how to use it, and he got to catching them on that stink bait. And after that, when we got back to Oklahoma, I had to get him a 5-gallon bucket and ship it to him because they had never used it down there. They didn't know what it was. Them fish down there just tore it up. I hate to sound greedy, but I'm about ready for another fish to hit. That gets me excited. Georgia, I guess you popped in at the exact time that fish hit. We've been here, says 56 minutes. We're going to give it a little bit longer because that one fish. I think we just had another little pet. Those circle hooks, I'm going to leave it and see if he'll go ahead and just take the bait. Try to talk my wife into doing some of these live streams with me, but she's camera shy and don't want to be on the camera. Yeah, it's kind of like shark fishing. You throw it out there and sit and wait. It was a lot. We had high wind, but the temperature was up in the 70s, and man, it really triggered them fish. Uh, Even after I shut the camera off on that second spot, the fish were still in there, just hot and heavy biting, and not quite as active today, but at least I got one. If nothing happens here in a little bit, I'll move from this spot and go to the other spot and try and get on them. A lot of times, that's all it takes is moving a little bit. You'll find a group of active feeding fish. What I like about this spot is it's clear. I don't have all that brush and stuff in the water to get snagged on. But for some reason, a lot of them fish are moved up into that brush and using it for cover. So if I have to fish in the brush to catch them, I'll be fishing in the brush. When this floods and all this gets underwater, they'll come up into this grass and stuff to feed, and they'll be eating the worms and the insects out of the grass. Plus, the grass is already green by then. It puts that oxygen in the water, and you can catch them. Yeah, Lynn, uh, caught a small little eater, nice fish. Uh, Nothing real big. I'd say probably 3-4 pounds. Uh, so I'm going to give it a little bit longer here before I move. You go back in the video a little bit, Lynn, probably maybe 10 minutes, you'll see them. And I just love the way these fish bite when they take that rod down and just fold the pole. Most of the time here, you don't have to say, man, I think I got a bite. You'll know because they will just fold the rod in half. And 3 to 4 pounds on that little ugly stick medium action rod, it's a lot of fun. And that's the thing about catching them in this shallow water. A lot of times when you catch them and they'll come to the top of the water and just start splashing the top of the water. It's almost like you see them tarpon and sailfish in the ocean hitting the top. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Yeah, I didn't even look at the time, Georgia. I still get so excited when the fish bites and stuff. I'm focused on the fish, and the takedown is what I love. I love the takedown. These fish are so aggressive when they bite. I know if y'all watch Chunky Cat's halves and marking them, you'll just see the rod tip move a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, I got a bite." And they could reel down on it, and it may be a 60-pound fish. And man, here you get a 3-4 pound fish, and he just slams the rod. It's crazy how different they bite in different areas. 24 minutes ago. Well, I'm going to give them a little bit longer, and if nothing else bites, I'm going to move again and try and get on some more fish. I'll try and find me a spot that's a little more protected from the wind to where it's not as cold. First spot, I was in the sun. I could take my jacket off. Wind wasn't blowing that hard. And over here, you're in the wide open. That's one good thing about this lake. There are lots of little places you can find windbreaks to get out of the wind. Yeah, I want to get some better filming gear to where I can get a closer shot of the rods, to where when a takedown goes on, y'all can really see it good. That fish was kind of funny. After he folded that rod down and I first picked up on him, I thought he turned loose of it. He didn't turn loose of it. He just started swimming at me. I had to catch up to him. Come on, number two, Becca says. Yeah, we're waiting on number two. If number two don't come along, we're going to move to a different spot. Well, Chad, if you go back about 27 minutes, I believe is what Georgia said, you can see the takedown and everything. It's not a monster, but it was definitely fun to catch, especially on that medium action ugly stick. They do not have to be big on that lightweight ugly stick rod to give you a good fight. In the creeks and stuff, when they're flowing, them ugly sticks are too soft. I can't really use them in the creek because their tips are too sensitive, and they'll just sit there and fluctuate the whole time. But I have caught 30 and 40-pound fish on that medium action rod, and they've handled them just fine. It really gets your blood pressure going though, because they'll just fold that rod and start pulling drag, and definitely an adrenaline rush. So I'm okay with that little eater fish because my wife told me before I left she wanted some fish to eat. So I told her I'd keep her some of the small ones. We like to eat that fish too. I like to take that catfish, use that Louisiana fish fry. We'll make fresh cut fries with potatoes and homemade tartar sauce and hush puppies. Fry that fish up, then fresh French fries, and ranch dip comes in a packet. There's two different kinds. You can make it with mayonnaise or sour cream. Get the one with the mayonnaise and you mix that up and let it sit. Dip your fries into it, even your fish. It's some good eating, guys. Guys, I don't know if this is the same thing where y'all live, but me catching these blues in the shallow water and stuff, one thing I've been noticing, instead of just the gray coloring and stuff, they've got a lot more color to them. You'll see some pinks and some blues and some purples down around their stomach and up their sides. They seem to have a lot more color. And I don't know if it's because of the cold water temps or what causes it, but they're really, really beautiful to look at. Yeah, Chad, that's the perfect eater size, and that's exactly what my wife is going to do with that fish. She told me to keep her some small ones. She watched the video the other day where I was throwing them all back, and even after I quit live, I was turning them back. And I got home, and she's like, "Where's the fish?" I said, "I turned them loose." So today, when I left, she gave me instructions to bring her some fish to eat. This lake is plumb full of those eater-sized catfish. Hey, hooks and hammock. Yeah, we got one. We got a nice little eater fish. Chad, we don't fill the freezer. I'm a fat boy, and if I catch fish to go home and eat, I'm gonna have me a fish fry, and I can eat some fresh fried fish. I need to get a hold of Creo, have him send me some of that Cajun fish fry up here. Right now, I just buy that Louisiana fish fry that I can get up here, but uh, we got some of that Cajun fish fry from Louisiana once, and man, that stuff is good. Had to check the bait on that one, guys. Even though I'm not throwing out that far, these fish are so shallow. They're running into my lines between the sinker and the bank. and knocking a lot of slack and stuff in them. And why, as cold as it is in the wintertime, these fish are so shallow, I have not figured out. I don't have a clue. Mm. You keep your freezer stocked, Becca? Yeah. There's plenty enough fish out here to stock the freezer, but with me and the wife, just me and her at home now, all the kids are gone. They don't take that much fish to feed us. Now her uncle lives out there close to us, and he watches my YouTube channel. And if he sees fish, I promise you, he will be there. Her uncle, my wife's uncle, he's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. Uh, they go metal detecting. My wife and him go metal detecting a lot. Coin collecting together. Uh, he's a blast. He's a lot of fun. We always check on him because he lives alone. We always make sure, you know, he's okay. He's got something to eat. He's eating, and he went out with me yesterday evening. He took his metal detector out to the lake when I went out there to catch me some fresh shad to fish today. Me and him went out and spent the day, and we had a pretty good time. Guys, as I figure this stuff out, I'm new to this YouTube thing. I'm trying to learn it as I go. Uh, I would like to find out if there's a way that I could put all your links to your channels in the descriptions uh, on my videos and stuff. So when people watch them, uh, and also as I'm getting mods in here, posting people's links, because I will advertise all I can and support everyone I can and try and get uh, the word out to help our community grow. And I love the way the catfish community shares links and helps each other out. I'm probably going to give it another 10, 15 minutes, guys, and that'll probably be about another hour since that last fish bit. If nothing hits within the next 10 to 15 minutes, I may move off to another spot. Looked like something just swam into that line again on this second rod from the end here. Yeah, Chad, I haven't figured out the YouTube studio yet. I haven't even figured out how to edit videos yet. I'm really going to have to sit down and mess with that stuff and try and get on there. But I like to have everybody's links out there. Uh, even if they just come across my channel by accident on their feed on YouTube, if they go in there and watch the video or something, and they see some of the other channels up there, uh, they might be more apt to go and check your channels out, and that's kind of what I'm wanting. Because on YouTube, guys, with the channels and stuff and the talk shows, there is so much great information out there. You know, even if it's not areas you fish, a lot of your fish will do the same thing. I'm not real big on jig fishing. I'm not real good with them. Most of the time when I've crappie fished, I've used live bait. Same thing with the bluegill. But man, there can be said about fishing, and these guys going out and catching that bluegill and then big slab crappie and stuff on jig. So I still watch them to try and learn. Uh, it's kind of a deal to help me become a better angler. And even though I primarily fish for catfish, there are times I do fish for crappie. And man, if I can watch that stuff and learn, and it makes me a better angler, I'm all for it. Yeah, it would be a lot of links, uh, but there is a lot of people in our community, and a lot of them are doing great things. And I like to make sure everyone gets shouted out and gets recognition. And the more we can share it out, the better off we are. And guys, if you're kind of new coming into my streams, this is your first time or something, I know most of you guys, like Chad and Becca and Georgia, have been doing this for a while, and I'm kind of new to this. So usually when I go back and watch my videos on my laptop and stuff, uh, I add moderators. So don't be shocked if you're a moderator the next time you come in. I had no idea there were so many people that were trolls out there and have nothing better to do than to come in and mess with people doing live streams. Georgia, that's a good point. I even Pete from South Africa, I watch him, and even though I'm not fishing for the same fish he is, it's fun to watch and just be there and experience different things. I may never get over to Europe to catch one of them Wells catfish, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch and learn. Yeah, most of it applies all over the country, especially with like your catfish, your crappie. Predator fish are just that. They're predator fish. And I know I get guys, you hear them all the time. Well, that doesn't work in my area. You can't really say that. If you only try it once on one body of water, you cannot say that it doesn't work in your area. It did not work maybe at that particular moment in time, but there are conditions for everything. Uh, take the chicken bait, the Jello chicken. Man, I tried it for 3 months straight. Never got a bite on it. but that does not mean it will not work in this area. Uh, I did not learn until I believe it was Norm told me. He said it works better in warm weather. Well, I never tried it in warm weather. I've been trying it during the winter, and so I'll try the chicken again just to see if it works. Not because I'm going to fish with it consistently, because I like my fresh shad, but just to see if it does work. And I've seen it work in other areas. Uh, Creole, I seen him bumping with it. He's caught them. Dieter Melhorn uses it. Uh, Art with 1 ton, I've seen them use it. I've seen people catch fish on it. Even Catfish Dave. Yeah, exactly, Chad. You didn't see a lot of people using planer boards for catfish. Well, now they figured it out, and most every catfisherman that's out in a boat has a set of planer boards to spread their rods out instead of just drifting and right under the boat. Look how much the catfish industry has improved and how far it's come in just the last 5 or 6 years. Uh, you have tackle companies that are designated specifically for the catfish species. And, years ago, nobody even catfished. Catfish were thought of as a trash fish. And the catfishing world has come a long way. I know in the summertime here, uh, unless you got a boat and you get on the deep water, it's hard to catch fish during the day. So my wife basically told me I need to get another boat so we can go out and drift and anchor up on some of these deep spots and catch these catfish. She wants me to get another pontoon boat, and pontoon boats are great for anchor fishing and for the extra room, but for drifting and stuff, I would rather have a deep V or something, and I would like to go fish the big rivers, and I think the deep V would do better on the big rivers than the pontoon boat. So she kind of told me, well, I guess you need to buy 2 boats then. So see, Chad, and that's new. The chicken been around 30 to 40 plus years. If not for YouTube and watching Dieter Melhorn and Catfish Dave, we just had a bite. Get it, though. Like I was saying before that fish interrupted, if not for Catfish Dave and other guys I've seen on YouTube, I would have never known about the chicken. I hope that's not a turtle biting that rod. I don't know if y'all seen it. He took it down a couple of times, but never got the hook. The gut pocket is still in the body piece of the shad, but definitely looked like he'd been chewing at it. Guys, we've been here about an hour and a half. Only got that one fish. I'm gonna go ahead and all right, later, Art. I'm gonna move to another spot and see if I can find a little more active bite. So I'll end the stream and get set up, and I'll come back. Thanks everyone for being here. I didn't even know Art was here. He must have been hanging in the back.